my papa talked about intimacy. And the funny thing was today I was talking to my roommates and I said to them that I know Papa is going to talk about intimacy. He's going to talk about intimacy. So one thing I would like to add to what he said is this. Everything starts and ends with intimacy. Now, Pastor Andrew said that him and his wife, they swing from fan to fan, from pole to pole, under the table, in the kitchen, on this. Sorry, are there kids in the room? If there are kids in the room, I really appreciate so that I can be able to relax and talk well. Because there are some things, some myths are going to be broken today. Some tables are going to be broken today. Some carpenters are going to lose their jobs. We're going to deal with a lot of matters. He said him and his wife, they anoint every inch and part of their house. Very beautiful. One other thing is the fact that if you do not have a good marriage, you cannot have a good sex life. Now, the foundation of the good sex life is a good marriage. The mistake a lot of couples make is they are trying to use sex to build their marriage. But you see, it's the reverse. Your marriage, if your marriage is working, the bed will work. So I always say to couples, let's fix the marriage first before we now start talking about sex, which is why I'm also grateful that my father spoke before me because he has dealt with everything intimacy. Praise God. He also talked about love languages. And my understanding of love language is the fact that it's a language you speak when you want to express love. That's love languages. Oh, we have sex languages. The same way you have 5 love languages, we have 5 sex languages. So if your spouse is speaking something you do not understand, there will be problem in the bed. The same way, if you do not understand the language your spouse is using to tell you, I love you, there will be problem in the marriage. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 sex languages. And like I said, your language is what you speak. So take for instance, I'm an Igbo woman and I'm married to an Igbo man. So it's supposed to be easy to communicate, right? Okay, but it's not easy because he does not know his own language. We're supposed to be speaking the same language, but he does not know how to speak it. So we have to rely on a common language, which is English. That's how we communicate now. But if I'm married to an Igbo man and I am Yoruba, which is another tribe in Nigeria, right? I'm speaking Igbo, he's speaking Yoruba, there will be confusion. Okay, so I like when I'm talking, all of us are inside the conversation together. Yeah. So there will be confusion, right? So I'm speaking Igbo, he's speaking Yoruba. We can't understand each other. So I need to get to a point where I learn his Yoruba and start speaking his Yoruba. He learns my Igbo and starts speaking my Igbo. Then there's a neutral ground, right? So from time to time, I will speak Yoruba to him and he will understand. From time to time, he will speak Igbo to me and I will understand, right? I just wanted to give a foundation on this whole language thing. Now we have 5 sex languages and the first one is fun. For someone whose sex language is fun, remember just like the love languages, you have the primary one and then you have others with it. Now, so for someone whose primary sex language is fun, this person wants spontaneity. This person wants to enjoy him or herself. This person wants to be flung from fan to fan. This person wants to move from the kitchen to the dining. This person is cutting carrots on her kitchen island in the kitchen. She expects that we're not just cutting carrots, we're also bonding and doing things. If you don't understand that, you understand that's why we go for that. All right, so this person does not want to have boring sex. If your love language is fun, I'm sure some people are already relating with this. If your love language is fun, you're tired of having sex on your bed. You're tired of being the dead cockroach style. Oh, fun. I'm so sorry. So if your love language is fun, if your love language is fun, you would not be stuck in the dead cockroach style. Yeah? You would want to tweak some things. You would want to explore. You would want to do interesting things. Just as somebody whose temperament is a sanguine and the person loves to have fun. I'm learning. And the person wants to have fun. This is the kind of person that wants to ride a power bike from one island in Dubai to another island, right? That's the person's love language. But if you are married to somebody whose sex language is fun, you really need to be ready to have fun with this person. This person doesn't want boring sex. This person just doesn't want, if the person is a woman, she does not want to kiss me, squeeze me, penetrate me. She doesn't want to go through that map. She wants to be kissed at the door. She wants to be squeezed on the road, on the way to the room. Oh, she wants to take like 1 or 2 rounds on the staircase. If you are married to a woman whose sex language is fun. If you're married to a man whose sex language is fun, he can't wait to get to the bedroom. As you are welcoming him home from work, you are closing the door, and we are doing 1 or 2. Am I speaking somebody's? Thank you. So the first one is what? All right. The second love language, sex language, is desire. For someone whose sex language is desire, this person wants to feel wanted. This person doesn't like quickies. This person doesn't like sharp, like my Nigerian people will call it. Sharp. This person doesn't like sharp. This person wants to feel desired. That means that this person wants to wake up in the morning. I see you guys like a lot of flowers and roses here. Wants to wake up in the morning to breakfast in bed, a spread of, different options. This person wants to be getting ready for work, and the man looks at her and says, oh my God, can we just do 1 or 2 before we go to the office? Oh, I'm running late for work. Baby, just going to take time. We're done. She wants to feel wanted. She wants to be in the office, and she picks up her phone, and she's blushing, and somebody is saying, I'm sure it's your husband again. It's my husband. She wants to feel wanted. He also, because it's both sides, he wants to feel wanted. He doesn't want to come home and you're telling him about one boss that is stressing you in the office like that. He wants to come home and meet a ready woman. He wants to get a message at work and says, I want to put you in 10 ways in 10 minutes at 10 p.m. You think it's not possible? Some people are doing it, right? If you're not doing it, receive healing this night. Yeah. As he's coming, see, my husband doesn't come home early. He's always stuck in traffic. He's always busy. I want to see the look on your face when I put you in 10 ways in 10 minutes at 10 p.m. He will be home at 5. Desire. Now remember that your sex language is the language you speak. It's the language you speak. The next sex language is pleasure. This particular person has pleasing and being pleased top of their list. This person can be likened to the love language, act of service. You just want to serve. It's not about you in that room. At that point, it's about pleasing your spouse. Right? It's not the one that you are done and you're like, oh, I'm tired. And she's like, have we started? Some people will understand it when they get home. These people who speak pleasure as their sex language, they want to please, they want to serve, right? They are more concerned about pleasing their spouse. The next sex language is patience. These people want to be explored. They want to be explored. See, don't be in a hurry. Like I said, see that map of kiss, squeeze, enter. While you are squeezing, sir, there are two breasts. There's a reason why we are multi-breasted. Can we not just stay here? Can we move? Right? Oh, you are moving too quickly. Calm down. There are over 47 known erogenous zones in the body. Known. So while you are doing kiss, squeeze, enter, she wants you by the back of her neck, of her ears. She wants you on her toes. She wants you in her scalp. Have you ever wondered why? Okay, let's do an experiment. If you're sitting with your spouse, men, touch your wife. Am I confined to this place? Thank you very much. So I'm coming to you, ma. So sorry. Did he touch you where you wanted to be touched?
Yes.
Okay. How did he know that?
Because I've told him over time, he knows.
Okay. They are a rare case. They are not a typical example. I'm not going to meet you because you people are always on the fan. Okay. So that experiment, when a man wants to touch a woman, he goes first to her breast. Typical, it's a worldwide issue. You're laughing now because we're in church, so everybody just went, give me your hand. I was just like, give me your hand. Yeah. But do you know that a woman in her nurturing phase, her breast is not a sex organ? It's food for her children. So if you have been touching the breast, and she's just looking at like, Baba Agbaya. In Nigeria means old man. As in, do fast and go. Because it's not stimulating her. She sees it as food for her children at that phase. So that's why it's not working. Right? But you know that women, when you want to be touched, one of the things we do is to tilt our head, consciously or unconsciously, to our man like this. Is that true or not? Is that true or not? Let me tell you why. Scientifically, we have an erogenous zone in the scalp. That's the reason why some of you, if you will be very truthful to yourself, when you are washing your hair in the salon, there's either a tingling feeling between your legs or you just want to sleep. Who agrees with me? Okay, so I have people like us. The reason is because there are erogenous zones in our head, in our scalp. So while the man is just coming, kiss, squeeze, enter, there's an itch. She wants him to stay here, right? So someone whose sex language is patience wants you to explore every inch of his or her body patiently, not touch and go. The problem with touch and go is that you will start something, you will not finish it, and then you leave the person hanging. We were going to Jerusalem. You stopped at Damascus. And you say you are done. How? How can we be done? Guys, remember that. Or, let me not say remember, you need to know that the fact that you had an ejaculation does not mean you've had an orgasm. And it doesn't mean that you are done. I have a video on YouTube that says that it's okay for a man to come again after he has come the first time. Or you can come multiple times. That does not mean you've had an orgasm. The orgasm is Jerusalem. That's what we're going to. Sometimes you get to stop at Damascus. I mean, Paul had an encounter with Jesus at Damascus. But we know Jesus had to meet him there. So it's not every time we stop at Damascus. Sometimes, can we just get to the promised land? Amen? And then the fifth sex language is acceptance and celebration. Now you touch her hair and you say, oh wow, this is so silky. Oh, God did a great job creating you. This is likened to the love language that is called words of affirmation. Right? You are on her breast and you're saying, God, my children are enjoying. Wow. You don't used to talk. I don't understand. What's sex without sound code? What's sex without volume? You people don't used to talk. How will you know that what you are doing is right? How would you even know that what he's doing is working? There has to be sound code. And in that sound code, we know, when it's pleasure, pain, anxiety, stress. There has to be a sound code. Talk. I have a video on YouTube. Meanwhile, my YouTube channel is called Wholesome Sexuality. And there are so many educational videos. Videos drop every Sunday. A video just dropped at 4 Nigerian time. Video drops every Sunday. And trust me, you watch the videos, you will learn, you will laugh. And you will have a take home to go and do. Right? Acceptance and celebration. I like it here. Can we stay here? Or, oh baby, it's painful. Can I tilt a bit? Because most of the problem one of the things that causes pain in sex is position. You see that dead cockroach? If you were not here, he said dead cockroach. That you're just there. It's the one that used to say, they say that church people used to do. But I don't know why they say it's church people that used to do it. It's called the missionary style, where the woman is just lying down there. But you know that in that dead cockroach style, cockroach lifts his leg. You know when a cockroach is dead, if you go near it, sometimes one of the legs go up. That's what we used to call witchcraft in Nigeria. Village people. But really, even in that dead cockroach style, if you lift one leg up, the sensation is different. If you lift the second leg up, the sensation is different. Oh, if you hang both legs on his shoulders, amazing. Oh, if you cross the legs on his chest, beautiful. So it was something the Holy Spirit told me some time ago. I think it was 3 months ago. I was counseling a couple, and the woman kept saying, he's too big. He's too big. He's too big. And he's like, everybody wants it big. I'm like, she's not everybody. The vagina is the same size. The penis. Depend on the season and time. It can be big, it can be large, it can be small, it can be short, it can be anything. But the vagina, in length, is the same size. So when the man is fully erect, sometimes the particular position, the particular style would be uncomfortable for his wife, right? And that causes pain. Until you're not a dead cockroach, stand up and change your style. There's a way you communicate it. Baby, I'm loving this right now, but it's kind of uncomfortable. Can I tilt a bit? He's high. Yes. Because at that point, you just want to get to Jerusalem. Change your style. There's no place that it says it's wrong to do styles. But like I always say, find what is comfortable for both of you. Enjoy it. Explore it. What is comfortable for both of you. Acceptance and celebration. We're still here. I have a video again that talks about communication in sex. Yes, we were taught that communication is what you say, how you say, when you say it, to whom you say it. But I had to put a bit of a tweak to it. And I define communication as what you say, how you say, when you say it, where you say it, to whom you say it, until there is a mutual understanding between both parties. So I'm saying I'm hungry. He's saying, he's hearing there's no food. Two different things. I have not communicated. He can as well hear there's no food and run out and get food and come back. I'm like, but there's soup in the fridge now. I'm saying I'm hungry until I say to him that, babes, I'm hungry. I would like to eat the soup in the fridge. And then he reiterates what I said to make sure that he actually understood what I said by saying, do you mean that the soup in the fridge would be enough for you to eat? Now there's an understanding. And it's mutual. What I said is what he understood. So when we come to sex, there are 3 ways of communication. 3 steps of communication. I call it before, during, which is the one people say you don't used to do, people don't used to talk. You say yes. Before, during, and after. The reason I went into this communication is the fact that we cannot understand each other's sex languages until we start communicating. So before is what you... So we want to have sex tonight. How about that? We talk about our expectation for tonight, because it's not every time we have sex we have orgasms. So how about we're talking about this night, though? We'll just do it sharp, sharp. Don't worry. Next week, we'll get to Jerusalem. There has to be mutual understanding. Right? Now, the second one is during. While in the acts, while in the doings, people say it kills the act. Like my papa just said, that communication, that thing she's talking that time, is starting points for her, because if she does not clear her mind of that, nothing is going to happen. She would end up doing dutiful because she wants to please you. But it can be beautiful. How about we talk about it? So during, he's on your left breast and you're like, sir, I have 2 breasts for a reason. Can we move to the right? My girls are hungry. Oh, you're depriving... Oh, I know of people that give their girls names. You're depriving the left from the right. I still find it awkward, because I can't be relating to my parts with names. Okay, so you're depriving the left from the right. He does not know if you don't tell him. And the moment he has ejaculated in his mind, he's done. And for the woman, the sex drive for a woman is likened to a Lister generator. I don't know how many of us know what a Lister generator is. It's that generator that you will whine it, and then it picks up. The man is likened to touch and start. Do you understand? There's this generator that's remote control. From anywhere to just start. Right? Look and leave. You pass with cloth, he's awake. You pass without cloth, he's awake. You are breastfeeding, he's awake. You are washing, he's awake. But the woman, you will tell her something in the morning, you'll be consistent in the afternoon, you will make sure that she's not thinking of school runs in the evening, you will make sure that by the time she comes, all those things, as you are doing it, you are getting closer to her table. Right? So now, with these differences, if you do not communicate during, you both will be doing dutiful. Oh, my favorite part of the communication is appraisal, which is after. Women, have you wondered why when your husband is done, he just falls asleep? He has released pent up energy, stress, frustration. He has released everything, and he just wants to sleep. Now, when he wants to have sex, there's a high level of dopamine, right? And the testosterone is going off the roof. When he's done, he climbs down like this, and he just wants to sleep. But you see, that is when the woman just wants to start. That's when she just wants to start. So if you are not communicating, see where your appraisal comes in. Baby, how was it? How did we go today? Did you like it? Our response can be, it was okay. I enjoyed it, but maybe next time. I'm tired of this bed. Can we use the dressing table? You have communicated after. Now, which is also an expectation for the next. Right? Okay, let me help people that are in the corporate environment. So you work. You have a line manager. You have someone that's oversees your work, a line manager in the office. And then you come to work in the morning, you're just doing everything, firing on all cylinders. In your mind, when it's time for appraisal, you are top. And then it's time for appraisal by the quarter, and they give you 1/10. You are upset. You are angry. What happened? No. You go to your boss. And if it's a good boss, your boss will tell you that you cannot have a good appraisal if you did not meet an expectation. Now, before you even know what the expectation is, there has to be a conversation between you and your line manager on what the expectation for the quarter is. And we bring it to our bed. There has to be an expectation and a conversation during. And then afterwards, we now appraise. Men, it's not that time that you will just stand up and say, hey, Odogu, I have done it. I've shifted her womb. And she's just there because she does not want to finish your ego. She will just be nodding and smiling at you. But the truth of the matter is that you didn't do anything. That's the time to cuddle her. That's the time to let her own nerves calm down. And then have a conversation. Have a conversation around what you have just done. I wrote here and I said, sex is beyond orgasm. The key to orgasm is knowing and understanding your spouse's sex language. If you do not understand it, ask questions. Ask questions. Ask your spouse questions. For those about to get married, the question always comes up, how will we know? When you get there, you know. Because fornication is not part of what I preach. I don't preach anything that is not inside the Word of God. I don't preach fornication at all. I don't encourage it of any form. But you see, the same way we have premarital counseling sessions for couples about to wed, Wholesome Sexuality has come up with something called Soon to be Wed. It's a webinar for couples about to wed. There you are taught, you are prepared for sex in marriage. When you get, one is coming up on the 28th and 29th of this month. It's 2 days, for couples about to wed. We teach them what to do. We first demystify mindset, wedding night, explosives, all the rooms in this hotel, they go hear what? They will know that we just marry. And then you enter there, performance anxiety, you now hook the man. He now try, maybe like 2 seconds. That's it. You're angry. And it's because you have the wrong expectation before you came in. So these are things that we would deal with at the webinar. Do you know that it takes a minimum of 27 minutes to get a woman to the orgasmic phase? Not to turn her on. She's on now. Do you understand? To get her to that point where she doesn't want you to leave her. It takes a minimum of 27 minutes. Scientifically proven. Because women, everything the woman does is tied around her emotions. The man is logical. He just wants to, we want to have sex. And the goal of this sex, go in, come out. Right? And you'll be wondering why your wife has not started screaming your name. It's like my members are here. You'll be wondering why she has not started screaming your name. There's a reason. You're too fast. You're too fast. Oh, there are times and seasons for fasts. But the normal, natural woman wants you to dwell. You see that acceptance and celebration? I can see women nodding their heads. If your husband is beside you, say, are you hearing something, sir? Because when you tell him you're nagging, but you see as I'm here now with the microphone now, he cannot beat me, he cannot slap me, he cannot shout at me, he did not invite me. It's Rema. As I'm saying it now, it's Rema, he's catching Rema. Do you understand? Uh-huh. It takes an average of 27 minutes to get a woman to the orgasmic phase, to the phase where she doesn't want you to leave her. And how do you do that? It's not that you set your time and be checking it 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. No. That's not what you do. You would understand her sex language. Then you will speak her sex language. Then, in the speaking of her sex language, you should be there to serve her. Now, that's where the problem is. A lot of sexologists come up and they tell you that you are in there for yourself. If you are not satisfied, if you're not satisfied, it's your fault. You need to be satisfied. It's a lie. It's a lie. If both of us are in there for the good of both of us, we will both be satisfied because we are there in service to each other. There's no selfishness in the bedroom. There's no selfishness in the bedroom. The other day, 15th September, was World Wife Day. And some men were angry. They say, Women's Day, Mother's Day, Elder Sister Day, Grandmother Day, everything. Which one is Wife Day? I said, the Wife Day, Wife Appreciation Day, is for a select few. And it should be celebrated by the people that made them wives, that gave them that title as wives. And I gave some key points on what you can do. And one of it was, if you are thinking of having sex, it has to be all about her. It has to be all about pleasing her. Sex is beautiful. Sex is good. Sex is godly. But marriage is not all about sex. When intimacy is done right, sex will work. But you cannot use sex to build intimacy. Let me see if I have good students today. 5 sex languages. Let me hear them. I just said, but I believe you heard what I said this evening. So it should start with communication. That is the way you can understand your spouse's sex language. The key to understanding your spouse's sex language is communication. But you see, it doesn't stop at hearing, at knowing. Some wise people say that knowledge is power. But I say with my full chest that the application of knowledge, therein lies the power. Did you get something this evening? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's give it up for Vera. Thank you so much. Clap for her nicely. Clap for her nicely. All right, now on to some few questions before we wrap up this afternoon's meeting. And just to let you know that you can scan, you can direct your phone to that QR code and scan and ask questions which will be read out to our guests. As Levi is getting some 2 chairs up there quickly, kindly. You can take mine, I don't mind. All right? So I'm going to kindly ask Pastor Kingsley and Vera to kindly find their way to the stage one more time. Let's clap for our guests one more time. If you have any question, you can scan that QR code using your phone and point out the question. We will not be long. We'll just take in some few important questions. And the first question that we have that I think will be directed to Pastor Kingsley is, how can a couple heal from sexual infidelity? How can a couple heal from sexual infidelity?
All right, that's a good question. In previous years, in times past, when things like that happened in the church, because the church was not so exposed with professionals, thank God for sexologists and co today now being raised in the body. What churches used to do when things like that happen, they just tell the husband, apologize to your wife, hug yourselves, go home, don't do it again. And they don't realize that that doesn't heal the pain. Something major has happened, all right? And they need to go through proper therapy. When there's infidelity in a marriage, 3 things must be addressed. The offending party needs to be addressed and healed, because that action is a proof of sickness. So he needs to be healed. The offended party has been hurt. She needs to be healed. Then the marriage is never the same again. That too needs to be healed. So it's a 3-pronged approach. Proper therapy has to go on. The offending party, what led you to this action? There's something that informed that behavior. We need to track it. If not, it will happen again. The offended party, how are you going to heal? Because something has happened. Your world has been destroyed. It's like if a very large vehicle hits somebody. You don't tell them, stand up, clean your body and move on. No, their life will never remain the same. They need to go for check internal bleeding, check fracture. Something has gone wrong. Then the marriage, we need to find out where was the leakage that led to this thing. If we don't heal the marriage and we heal the 2 parties, they will come back to a broken marriage. And most likely the 2 stand. If we heal only the marriage and the offended party, the offending party will continue. If we heal only the offending party, the offended party. So we have to treat. So don't talk to a professional or go through proper counseling. Don't just tell each other, sorry, it won't happen again. No, we need to ensure it doesn't happen again by finding out why it happened in the first place. So it takes some expert analysis, process of healing and therapy to both make sure the offended and offending party are properly healed, and then the marriage. But the mistake many people make, sometimes the woman or the offended party is also ashamed. So let's not tell anybody, let's just say each other sorry. A lot of times it doesn't work because you've not addressed anything at all that went wrong. So it's a proper process. Get proper counseling is what I would advise.
Thank you, Pastor Kingsley. Another question now for Vera. My wife is so disinterested in me, looks discouraged and kind of losing hope. I've been trying all I can, but I don't know what more I can do. She is disinterested in her husband.
Okay, like we say in counseling, we need to find the root cause. So the first question I would ask them, if they were my counselees, would be, has it always been like this? Did it start like this? Because if you're saying she's not interested in you, was there a time she was interested in you? Like I said, sex cannot heal your marriage. If there's a problem in the marriage, it will affect your bed. And the moment it starts affecting the bed, you find out that the wounded party would be doing what we call dutiful sex until the person finally shuts down. So the first question is, what is wrong in the marriage? What went wrong? When? At what point? Because they don't know most times. So the question is, at what point did you notice that she's no longer interested in you? She must have been interested in you before she got married to you. Right. So how did we get here? Mm-hmm. So get help.
Okay. While we are at it, the next one is related to that. She says, my husband has premature ejaculation. I have never enjoyed sex for 13 years. We've tried everything, nothing has worked. We have even imported medication, nothing has worked.
Okay, before you answer that, let me talk a bit about the first question they asked her. So, it's not usual or normal for an adult not to enjoy sex. So please, you need to understand that. If you're a full-grown adult, normal, and you don't enjoy sex, it's a sign or a proof that something, is wrong. Because some people think this is normal, that I don't like sex. It's not normal at all. Sex is something, it's like somebody saying I don't have appetite for food. That's not a normal thing. That's a sign of a problem. So if you don't enjoy sex at all, that's the problem you should seek help for. And like she said, if it's a couple, has it always been so, or did it start at some point? If it started at some point, then we'll track what made it happen. Was it an experience or an encounter? Or if it has always been so, that means the problem preceded the marriage. So we need to also go back with the person and find out why is it that you don't like sex at all. So it might be something you are doing today or something has happened before, but when we track where it started, we can fix it, okay? So that's very important. You can go to your next your question.
Thank you, sir. Okay, the question was talking about ED, erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, which is also a form of erectile dysfunction. Now, like I said, we'll still need to find out how it started. Right. When I say how it started, there are different causes of premature ejaculation. Number one is masturbation. Now, masturbation is basically you self-stimulating yourself. Now, what happens with masturbation is while you think it's just a physical thing, you are just helping yourself. There's something going on here. You are telling your brain that you can do it yourself. Now, have you ever heard or seen someone that masturbates for 1 hour? Well, I will tell you because they come to my office. It doesn't happen that way. It starts from you are doing it, you are hiding, you don't want the next person to know what you are doing. So you are doing it in record time. Maybe the first time you did it, you were able to have an ejaculation in like 10 minutes. The next time you do it, you're like, I have to beat my record. My boss is passed up. Sharp, sharp. 5 minutes. Now you are training your brain to give you pleasure at short time. Right? Now, when that happens, it's psychological. It's not physical. So if you are taking all the drugs that they are sending to you, you are not helping yourself because the root cause of this premature ejaculation is psychological and not physical. So all these people that sell all these drugs, they are thriving on your insecurities. You want to be able to perform. But nobody is asking you why you are not yet performing well. What you have done that led you to this point. So when it's psychological, you need a psychologist to help you. Right. Now, if you come into the physicalities of it, okay, you are here. One of the fastest, they say it's fastest, but if the psychology of it is not dealt with, it would not still work. There's something they tell us at antenatal clinic. That's the clinic you go when you're pregnant. They call it Kegels. Oh, some men are grown to think that it's only women that do Kegel exercises. They've been lying to you. The same muscle responsible for ejaculation is the same muscle responsible for urination. So Kegels is basically, simply put, pee and stop. Pee and stop. So instead of you to go and just run like a water fountain, when you go in, you pee a bit. 2 seconds, you hold it. You release it again, you hold it. You release it again, you hold it. The reason we use pee is because it's easier. But you know you can actually do Kegels while you are seated there. What Kegels does for you is that you are beginning to gain control of your pelvic floor muscles. So if you would normally ejaculate in 2 minutes, but you have started training your body training yourself to take control of your pelvic floor muscles, you know when you are about to come. You know your spouse knows. You see where communication comes in. You know your spouse knows, and then you can stop it. For women who have spouses that are experiencing premature ejaculation, you can also help. Let's stop having mindless sex. When you're having mindful sex, that means you are very much in what is happening. You should know when your spouse is about to come, and you cannot stop it. So if you are taking him to Jerusalem, that particular thing you are doing that is getting him there, and you can see that he's getting there, stop what you're doing. Like I said, the man's drive is like this, like this. Once you stop it, he will start dwindling down. And then you can start again. That process helps you prolong the ejaculation time. Now, if you are ejaculating and you say it's premature, sometimes I ask the women, as compared to what? How do you know that he came quickly? What comparison do you have to know that he came quickly? Because most times women calculate ejaculation from the moment of penetration. But sex actually started from when he started kissing you, when he started fondling you, when he started smooshing. He has started. And if he doesn't have control, the moment he enters, he would come. He has held himself this long. So help him to. But like I said, you need to know the root cause of the premature ejaculation. If it's psychological, if it's physical. But you must deal with the psychological aspects first before we get to the physical aspects.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now over to Pastor Kingsley. How do you deal with baby mamas from the past?
Sorry, I still want to add to the premature ejaculation one. You can also look for ways to slow down sensations. So for some people, things like condoms help to reduce sensation. Then for other people, you need to find positions that allow the man to be able to have that control. Some positions will make the woman have control. Some positions make the man have control. So let him use positions that give him more control to either slow down the slides or whatever, or to increase it as it goes. So that can help. How do you deal with baby mamas? What is baby mamas?
From the past.
Yeah, it depends on what you mean by deal with. If you have a child with someone outside of your marriage, that requires a whole lot of agreement and counseling. We have to set boundaries. We have to determine how much involvement are we going to. So it's something you and your wife or you and your husband, whatever, have to sit down with probably a good counselor to mediate and be like, what are you comfortable with? In some cases, we tell the wife to be more involved in the child's life, not the dad, because there's a higher chance that the dad and the ex can continue to bond over that child. So we have to mediate. What do we want to achieve? What can be achieved? Do we want to be fully involved in this child's life? Do we want to be partially involved? Do we want to be financially involved? So you have to decide and set the boundaries accordingly based on what both of you are comfortable with. So it's difficult for us to just choose for you when we don't know the real situation. These people, are they close to you? Are they far from you? Are you planning to travel to visit? You know, there are cases like that where the man wants to go to another city to visit the child. Things like that are a setup. If he's traveling, leaving his own wife to go to another city to stay, to see his son that is with another woman, they will soon have another son. In our experience, that's what happens. You will have another child.
Yeah.
So you need to talk to a counselor and both of you. What happens? See, as a rule, guys, insist on being submitted to authority. Don't do marriage in isolation. When you do marriage in isolation, the stronger party will just oppress the lesser party. It's like playing football match without a referee. Somebody's just going to bully another person. So we must both talk. Are you comfortable with this man traveling to another city to go and live with his baby mama and to see his child? He's going to have another baby. That's what's going to happen. So we must agree. Are we all going to go and see that child together, stay in a hotel, both of us go and see the child? Or is the child going to be sent to us to the house, stay with us? You know, we must sit down and agree what we're comfortable. Don't do any funny arrangement that both of you are not comfortable with. For sure, don't do that.
All right. The next question for you, Pastor Kingsley. For how long do you forgive infidelity?
We can't force you. As a child of God, forgiveness is not optional, as people think. For you as a child of God, it's not optional. It's painful. It's hard. I agree. But don't see forgiveness as an option. It's not. Infidelity is painful, no doubt. And we walk people through what is called a forgiveness therapy. It takes a while. but you must get there. Now, what people confuse forgiveness with is the pain. They think there is something I'm going to do that will make me forget or make me be relieved. No. Forgiveness can be instant. The pain and rebuilding trust will take a long time. There will be triggers. There will be different things you're going to go through. That's why you need to talk to a specialist. You're not going to just forget this. You're not going to just develop amnesia. It's not going to happen. But you can decide to forgive as soon as you want by the help of the Holy Spirit. But the pain will not disappear. It takes healing, takes time, takes a lot of effort for that to happen. So you have to forgive. And you're not forgiving because you're letting the person go. You're forgiving because you're letting yourself heal. So you need to understand that forgiveness is not about the other person. Many people think I'm doing the person a favor by forgiving them. No, forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person, has everything to do with you. We can't heal you, or you can't be healed until you forgive. It's for your good. But there's no hard and fast rule. We can't tell you to forgive today. We just help you with the process of receiving healing. Then that way you will have strength to let go of that situation. All right.
The following sounds funny, but I believe they are conflicted and their question is valid. As a Christian couple, is it okay to use the F word during intimacy? And the P word and the D word? That's what they're asking.
That's the question. Okay. Let's come out of intimacy, because they keep saying, questions come up about we are married, so it means that we can do and undo. As a Christian, is it okay to use the F word? Everybody went quiet. If you can answer that question, your Christianity is not subject or bound to location or seasons or times. I hear people say Christianity apart. Let's face reality. Christianity is the way of, is how you live your life. It's you. So is it okay to use the F word as a Christian? If your answer is yes, if your answer is no, then you know the right thing. Because really, people use the confines of marriage and say because we are married, it's okay, everything is allowed, do as you want. The marriage bed holy, undefiled. Is it okay to use the F word as a Christian? For me, it's not okay to use the F word as a Christian. It's not okay to swear as a Christian. I like when they ask the question, who swears the most? Nobody goes up, because we don't swear as a Christian. There are other ways you can appreciate your spouse. You can recognize your spouse and acknowledge your spouse without using the F word. Let the things that are in the world remain in the world, and the things that are in the body.
They meant during the sexual act.
We're saying the same thing.
All right.
As a Christian,
okay.
That's where I'm buttressing my points for.
All right.
As a Christian, your Christianity is not subject to time, space, acts, or season. You are a Christian. So can we just live our lives and leave the things for the world in the world? Praise God.
Okay. But I don't know what is the P word and the other word. And the F word, I'm just assuming I know what it is. But this is what I will also add to that. Whatever both of you want to do if you're married, what you want to do in your sex bed is your business. We are also careful not to over-encroach into your sex bed. As long as it's not bringing harm, it's not bringing shame, or it's not making one person uncomfortable. If both of you are comfortable and it's not a health hazard, it's not a shameful act, it's not making one person feel less of a human being, both of you want it. The truth is that we are not going to be there to monitor you. All right? If both of you think the F word is what you want to use, you want to say it, you want to hear it, I'm not going to come and bring a mirror or a cane and flog you. All right? So that's what I would add. That even though we counsel, I also want us to be a bit sensitive to give people, when God didn't write some things in Scripture, it's not that he forgot. Sometimes he wants you to, you go enjoy your life, do what you want to do. The things he knows is dangerous, he will spell it out. He wants you to explore, be creative. It's like somebody asking me what sex position is godly and not godly. It's not because God doesn't know sex position. Just he's saying, look, be creative. What if he's not bringing harm? All right? Nobody's going to be hurt. It's not bringing shame. And both of you are okay with it. Because I've met people that want to use the B word. You know, the woman wants to be called the B word and the man doesn't mind. Or if the man minds, then that's already a concern. If one party is not happy with it, then we need to revisit the source and the reason why you have that desire. We need to change that. But if both of you are okay, the truth is that I'm in my own house. I ain't going to supervise you. I ain't going to punish you. You know, that's really your business. But keep it within safe boundaries. So I like what she said about being Christian, but some people's sex life is not Christian. So continue as you are led. All right?
Someone else, as you draw towards the conclusion, someone else is asking for wisdom on how to run a blended family.
Again, these things are not things we can answer on the stage. A blended family can be anywhere from 1 child each to 4 kids each to young kids or grown kids. So there's so many dynamics. Then this blended family, is it blended family from 2 different cultures? Or is it blended family but both of you are Kenyans? So there's so much possibilities in that. So the baseline is always make it common, make it normal to have counseling. That's what I always advise. A neutral party can interpret how things feel for the other person. I've seen couples that have sat together and one person doesn't see the big deal in talking to their ex. It takes a neutral party to call him to and say, no, this is going to infringe on your partner's comfort and security. All right? Like I said in the morning, you are entitled to only one point of view. That's all you have. You know those videos they do POV? You have only one. As I'm sitting here now, this is my point of view. It's a different picture if I'm sitting in the crowd. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? So the only way I can have an idea of what you are seeing is when we communicate. Then I can understand that, oh, you are seeing a screen. I'm not seeing a screen where I am. And both of us are right. I'm not seeing a screen, but you are seeing a screen. So when we communicate, when we bridge the gap, especially when there's a trained counselor in the room, the person can put you through and say, hey, if you have a blended family, these are the boundaries, this is how it's going to work, these are the things you must put in place. So get professional help in those regards. Come up with boundaries, come up with agreements that both people agree with. In fact, those things are more important than the love. Because it's usually compatibility issues that break a marriage or relationship, not love.
Thank you, sir. Let's combine these 2 last questions. A lady is asking, I had separated with my husband, and this made him start masturbating. Now that I'm back, he still does, and this has affected our sex life. By the time we get there, he's already done. And the next question, again, is from a lady. I started going outside my marriage because I wasn't in good terms with my hubby. That means she was cheating. Now, I don't have feelings for him anymore. What can I do to have intimacy with him like before?
Okay, I'll answer the last one. She'll answer the first one. The good thing about us as humans is that we are not subject to our feelings. I think that's one of the biggest things human beings need to learn. Some people just submit to feelings as if the feelings are our Lord. No, it's not. Feelings can come and go. Feelings can be channeled. Feelings can be recreated, can be refired. You know. So if you are no more feeling things for your husband, both of you need to come back to building intimacy, building friendship, building passion. And it can be built. And you might need to walk through a process of forgetting the other things on your mind. The way you walk, your feelings are attached to your thoughts. Your feelings are not independent at all. They are tied to your thoughts. If you are very thirsty, and I say, this is a glass of water, you know, Pastor Andrew, come and take, you are very thirsty, come and take. You see, from where you are, you appreciate it already. It looks like, but if I tell you that it's actually not a glass of water, it's acid, your reaction, your feelings towards it just changed. So this thing is not the issue. It's what is going to your mind that determines how you feel. Your feelings are not independent. Information that you get changes your feelings. So don't trust your feelings. Your feelings can change. Your feelings can change. All right? So all I need to say is that we'll go back to how to rebuild that friendship, that intimacy, that passion. Then detox yourself from the thoughts of what you went to do outside and other people. Then you'll find out that the love will grow gradually with time. But don't just cancel it and say, oh, I don't feel anything with my husband. That's not true. Your feelings can come back. It can. All right? we've all seen it happen. You can come back. So don't give up yet.
Thank you.
Okay, so from my understanding of that, it wasn't a question. The person just poured out her heart that she was separated from her husband for a period of time, and then he started masturbating. So now that they are back, he's still masturbating.
Yes.
And then, obviously,
Also comes
there's premature ejaculation
Yes.
involved. Right. Okay, so in this whole thing, she said, she has answered the question on why we should not masturbate. Because she didn't put a question there, basically. But see, what she said answers the question on why you should not masturbate. Masturbation trains you to receive pleasure from you. And what happens is that when you now have a spouse, the problem now is that you have already trained yourself to receive pleasure from yourself. If your spouse jump from fan to fan, hang from here to here, nothing is going to excite you. Sorry, nothing is going to excite the person until he masturbates, right? So I've answered the question on how to help with premature ejaculation before, but there's something we do, with regards to addiction, porn, masturbation addiction. It's called rewiring, right? You have wired. It's a behavioral pattern. You have taught your body this. You have taught yourself this, and you can unlearn and relearn. But the very first step to stopping, it's stopping. Not I will stop. Not let's plan to stop. Actually, don't do it. Shed light on it by making your spouse aware of it. That also speaks of accountability, right? And then to the spouse that has a partner that is masturbating, you should also know that it's not your fault. Every adult is responsible for whatever acts he or she decides to do. It's not your fault that he is masturbating, because from that comment of, we were separated for a while, I've started hearing blame. You're already blaming yourself that you're the reason he started masturbating, or because I was not having sex with him enough, he had to cheat. He had to get it elsewhere. You are not responsible for the decisions your spouse makes. So it's not your fault. Can you help? Yes. Get him professional help. But first, he needs to accept the fact that what he's doing is wrong, that is detrimental to his health and to the sexual health of his marriage, which is also detrimental to his marriage. Now you are speaking his language. We're talking logic now. It's not working, it's not the answer. It's that this thing you are doing is hurting you, it's hurting me, it's hurting us. So we need to get help to make sure that we are in line with what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And it's largely a mind thing. So he needs to also submit his mind to the Lord. When it comes to breaking a habit like this, your relationship with God also matters. Prayer, meditation. You've been thinking, to masturbate, you have to be thinking in a certain light. So it's not just a physical act. You need to, like she said, you need to rewire your thinking. It's a long process, but it takes dedication and accountability. Rewire how you are thinking about sex. It takes a while. You might sleep sometimes, but if you're consistent, you will see that you can, now that your wife is even around, both of you working as a team can rechannel that habit and start to have sex the normal way. Our brains are trainable, just that if you have done something for a long time, it's just a bit more difficult. But our brains are trainable, and that's the good news, especially with the help of the Holy Spirit. That's the good news.
Amen. Let's appreciate our guests. Put your hands together for them. Of course,